Yeah, thanks very much for the opportunity to pitch today. I recently came to be a part of the Shadow Ventures network and have been really impressed and got a lot of value out of some recent literature that they've published, but also being part of the forum in the Slack channel. So thanks to Shadow Ventures for putting this event on and giving us the chance to pitch today. The correct pronunciation is Ynomia. We were founded in Melbourne, Australia in 2018, so just on 2 years ago. Our mission is to connect a variety of things in construction to help humans to maximise their potential. We have a strong founding team. Myself, my previous background was in BHP, a large global mining company where I worked in the UK and the US. I was previously founder and a CEO of a startup in Australia called EFM, the largest freight aggregator in this country. My co-founder, Adam, has worked with two big players in the construction game, Lendlease and Multiplex, and our other co-founder, Matthew, has a broad experience in Europe, in Asia, and more recently with Uber in Australia. We're a team of 20, and about half of those are in our technology team. We're really fortunate to have some great partners on board. Brick and Mortar Ventures is our lead investor and have been a fantastic support for us with their network of contact, but also with general guidance and advice on product and business strategy. We also have some really strong investors out of Australia, Taronga Group and Aura Capital. The technology that is at the core of Ynomia's platform was developed by CSIRO in Australia, the largest publicly funded research organisation down here, which they were the inventors of Wi-Fi and the original components of Google Maps. So they have a great origins of developing great technology. We also have some really fantastic partners in the customer side, Mace, ProBuild, Multiplex on the general contractor aspect, and then more on the integrated developer asset owner side with Mirvac, Lendlease and ISPT, as you can see there. So the question that we get asked a lot is why now? Why now is the right time for sensors and automation to really impact the construction industry? And it's a combination of things, but in some ways it's a perfect storm. The cost of devices is coming down at an accelerating rate to the point where they generally can be quite commoditized and very low cost. They're able to run for extended periods of time on coin cell batteries. The availability of cloud computing has obviously improved and continues to scale. Mobile devices are much more readily available in the field. Workers are more digitally literate, and the industry is looking to move and progress and change and find better ways of automating process. Why us in particular? We spent the last 2 years deploying our technology onto large-scale construction sites, primarily in Australia and more recently in the UK. We've learned a lot about how connected sensor networks function in those environments. And with the proprietary patented technology we have originally developed by CSIRO, we feel like we've got a strong competitive advantage. Our belief is that in the future, construction will be far more connected than it is today, both physically and digitally. So I'd like to take the chance to talk to you about a case study, a project that we're currently working on in Melbourne, which is Victoria University Tower. Some facts about the building. It will be the tallest education facility in Australia once completed, 32 floors. It has a contract value of over 200 million Australian dollars, commenced just last year and is completed in 2021. It's a CBD location which has very limited access. Just one laneway is the only way that the site can be accessed. So in terms of our consultation with the key stakeholders, we found a number of site-based constraints that were going to potentially pose a risk to the delivery of the project. That's the building that you can see there on the left of screen. And as I mentioned, the access to the building is quite restricted. So in terms of our solution, as you can see, center of screen, we use low power, low cost devices operated by battery power for the most part, different types of sensors for different applications. And we connect the live streams of data coming from those devices to our digital twin, which you can see the representation of there right of screen. On this particular project, we are working with a range of different stakeholders, from the developers of the property, which is ISPT and the Victorian State Government, the general contractor ProBuild, the tenant being Victoria University, and a range of suppliers and subcontractors. And what we've been able to do with the combination of our sensors and digital twin is to provide value for a broad and diverse group of stakeholders, right from the developer and their aspirations to have greater visibility into the progress of the project, but also to ensure that it is one of the safest and most efficient sites. ISPT is a superannuation or pension fund here in Australia. They hold the superannuation investments of many of the workers in the construction industry, so safety is very important to them for obvious reasons. And as I alluded to before, there was some significant constraints in terms of the way that the site was going to be configured and operated. We're applying sensors to a range of different elements of the building, materials, some of which have an origin offshore, primarily in China in this example, where our sensor tags are deployed in the factories so that the project team and the upstream stakeholders get real-time visibility to the production and flow of materials. That process starts as early as the design phase and then into the physical manufacture of the components. The structure, we're embedding concrete sensors into the structure, which are used for a combination of cycle time, progress monitoring, but also for the strength and maturity of concrete, being able to pull those disparate data sources back into digital twin. There's some perimeter safety screens on this particular job that are part of the orchestration sequence. We've got sensors applied to them, which allow us to understand the movement of those screens and the associated hatches that protect the live edge of the building. Those sensors report back in real time and can provide both time series information about cycles, but also notifications to the site manager and other stakeholders as appropriate. And then the final piece that we're connecting with sensors on this particular case study project is operational safety zones. So particular areas within the building that have significance, both in terms of under-overworks, but also areas that can and can't be accessed by different stakeholders or different subcontractors at different points of time. That information is being shared digitally with the right stakeholders to enable them to build efficiently and also to build safely. In terms of our current situation, we are in Australia and the UK as our two primary markets. In the very near future, with the support of one of our investors, Taronga Group, expanding into the Singapore market, and in the future looking to work with project partners and potentially investors in North America. Thanks very much for your time.